Hi. Hi, I'm Sam Cerezo, and today I will be going over biodiesel. So, what is biodiesel? Biodiesel is a renewable and degradable biofuel produced from vegetable oils, restaurant grease, or animal fats. Biofuels are liquid, renewable fuels produced via biological sources. Biodiesel production, growth, and cultivation. Biodiesel is produced via transesterification. Fat and oil are converted into biodiesel with glycerin as a byproduct. Typical production involves mixing 100 pounds of oil and fat with 10 pounds of short chain alcohol, such as methanol, in a 10-to-1 ratio. A catalyst is utilized, typically sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. This chemically converts triglycerides into alkyl esters, and the glycerin byproduct must be removed as it can damage engines. Depending on the fuel source, plants cultivated for biodiesel must undergo photosynthesis and grow in order to be sufficient. And if animal fats are being utilized, animals must undergo cellular respiration prior to slaughter and processing. And here's the source I used. So here's an image of a transesterification of biodiesel. I have the source at the bottom here, but they're adding methanol and a catalyst, which is probably going to be sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, and it creates this fatty acid ester, which is the biodiesel, and then glycerol is the byproduct. So current development status of biodiesel and current research. Algae masses are currently being developed to be utilized as a source of biodiesel, and biodiesel is currently being utilized by the automotive industry as well as the agriculture industry. And interestingly enough, the U.S. military is currently using biodiesels for tactical vehicles. Carbon footprint of biodiesel. Biodiesel reduces harmful vehicle emissions. Pure biodiesel is called B100, whereas B20 is 20% biodiesel and 80% petroleum. These are the two main forms of biodiesel that are currently being utilized. Biodiesel results in 74% less carbon dioxide than petroleum diesel. So for the economic impact of biodiesel, the biodiesel industry results in a $23.2 billion revenue towards the U.S. economy. And a potential drawback to biodiesel and biofuels in general is you need land in order to grow the crops, and you also need water as well to grow the crops that are utilized for biofuels. And this is why the algae research is so important, is because algae isn't going to necessarily require all that land that you need if you were using something like corn or soy. So the current public efforts with biodiesel, the Department of Energy is currently supporting U.S. efforts to manufacture and utilize biodiesel and other biofuels. And the U.S. military currently uses biodiesel to fuel military equipment. And then feedstocks, which is the fat, oil, and greases, are being utilized in recycling programs to reduce biofuel and biodiesel in the U.S. So if I was to come up with a hypothetical plan of action to implement biodiesel, I would use tax write-offs to acquire sources of grease from local and commercial business sources that can be utilized to make biodiesel. I would utilize incentives for companies to develop engines that utilize biodiesel more efficiently, and all government vehicles would utilize biodiesel. And then I would create a PR campaign to introduce biodiesel to a mainstream audience so that the U.S. population is educated on biodiesel and they understand that they don't necessarily have to quit using the cars they want, because some people don't typically like to switch to new things. But if we educate people on biodiesel and how it can be utilized to reduce carbon emissions, and that they can drive the same vehicles as long as they utilize biodiesel, I believe it would be able to be efficiently introduced. And here are some other sources I utilize as well, but they aren't specific to any slides because I use data from these on multiple slides. Thank you.